So 3-1 defeat today, sum the game up for us.
I think for us, we had a good go, top side. First 45 minutes, it would have been better if we'd have maybe come in at 2-0. We pushed them, but we've come in 1-1. So the whole kind of game change, the conversation, the chat to the lads is all different. But you know, it was pleasing for the first 45 minutes. It was good. We probably surprised them a little bit, but we need to keep it going. We need to kind of, you know, at 1-1 we've got to maintain that and keep, you know, the concentration, the focus, and the drive. It's the drive as well. You know, we've got to keep it going. Don't let it go. You know, we've put ourselves in such a good position now in the league to kind of give us a chance to get out. You know, I'm always saying to the lads, just don't let it slip.
When we spoke yesterday, you alluded to the fact that you may make changes. I think there were a few eyebrows raised when you made 9.
Well, not really. I think for me, there's a lot of guys who've been training really well, and I think they deserve their chances. And some of the guys who've been playing before when I first started, I think now I think that, you know, some of them deserve to get back in and see what they can do. And you know, they've done really well in the past, so I gave chances of a lot of the guys to kind of show them what they can do.
How disappointed were you that we couldn't build on that opening goal, particularly in the first half, where I think we had quite a few chances, didn't we?
Yeah. Goals obviously, you know, changed games, and you know, going 2-0 would have been great for us, giving us a little platform. But I think for me, the second half, we have to stay in the game. We've got to learn to stay in the game. I think you know, when you look at MK Dons, they did a lot of the stuff they did was quite basic, you know, but effective. And we just need to do we needed to defend in a basic way and just do the job right. Not allowing guys to kind of, like, getting back in, you know, not allowing guys to kind of get ahead of you and try to kind of build on that. Just defend properly, cross properly, you know, tackle, keep the ball. We didn't really keep the ball, you know, when we had time. That was a kind of weird thing for me, because in training I see the guys keeping the ball, but come the game, they need to kind of transfer that into the game. And you know, I'm seeing a lot of great stuff in training, but you know, the transferring of that, it needs to be, you know, they need to do that, because it's kind of way off. You know, especially when we've got time in the ball and we're not picking the right kind of passes, and we're training to kind of keep the ball, and the space is there, and they're not really. It's almost they don't want to kind of try things, and I'm saying try things, you know, and. But be kind of sensible about your passing and being, you know, concentrate on your pass.
It really was a game of two halves, really, today, wasn't it? Would you put the second half down to, I don't know, a fitness issue, a mentality? How would you put the difference between the two halves down to?
You know, they're a fit team anyway. But I think from my point of view, you know, there's not fitness in there. We should have really. You know, we should be just covering our runs, getting back and having our rest. Be economic with your runs, and if you're a defender, don't go too high. Sometimes be a bit more safer. If you're a midfielder, if we keep on losing the ball, of course you're going to run more. As a midfielder, if you keep the ball, then they have to run more. You know, things like that. That's not fitness. That's just like actually someone getting on the ball and passing that I know you can pass. You know, they're really good passers, but all of a sudden it just went out the window when it came down to kind of guys just picking up the right, choosing the right decision to pass in, and keeping the ball, passing to a blue shirt. You know, in tight areas, I've seen it in training. That's the puzzling thing for me.
So the fans, when they walked out of here tonight, they're hurting. They've looked at the league table and they've seen that the gap is now 6 points. What would you say to them tonight?
Well, we've got 30 points to play for. And we've got games that are going to define us, and we've got to all fight together. Everyone's hurting, the players are hurting, and we just got to dust ourselves off again and go for it. There's 30 points to play for. Until it's kind of mathematical out, so I won't be giving up. Whatever, you know, people say, whatever the fans say, whatever anyone says, you know, the players are all in there. Everyone's fighting. Everyone knows what's ahead of us, and the main thing is that it's still in our hands, and that's the main thing. If it's still in your hands, then there's something worth fighting for.
With those changes, sorry. So with those changes, you know, is that more a positive for the guys who came in or a negative for the guys who went out? If you see what I mean.
No, really, because I've looked at it like some of the guys who needed to rest, like people like Rosie. I think he's played a lot of games, and I think he just needed, you know, a kind of a rest period. He will come back, will phase back in by next week. The other guys that who played before they got injured, I'm giving them a chance to say, show me what you can do, and for me that's really it, really. And it will change. It will change again. The guys will come back in, but some of them will stay for sure, because I believe they've got the fight in them. They've got something about them. I think they can, people like Jarrell. I think he can, keep on driving forward, and I'm sure he's gonna, he can conjure something up. So all those kind of guys need to be in the team.
Someone like Danny Whittaker as well, though, he wasn't obviously in the squad. He's not figured an awful lot, but he's there with you on the touchline. Will he be figuring again, do you think, this season?
I think for me, it's Danny's been in and out injury wise. He's kind of back in now training wise, but he's been injured. He had a groin, and I think he had a back as well. So I think for me, I think with Danny, you never know. He might have to dust his boots off.
And just looking ahead as well, because obviously the Tuesday game as well, and I think was Exeter away. That wasn't your first game in charge, but you were there, weren't you? So how do you assess that? That's a tough ask again.
Yeah, it's a tough ask, I think. But for me, it's all about characters now. I can't go on the pitch anymore in a sense that, but it's all about characters now. It's about guys who take this on and enjoy the challenge and want to kind of fight and play football and really go for it 100%. And it's all about who you are as a person and then a footballer. And that's what it's going to take now. Really digging deep. Every 10 cup finals now. And we've got to fight for every single point now. And obviously need a bit of luck on the way as well. So, we're going to all go out, we're going to dust ourselves off again and go, and that's all you can do. That's all you can do, you just keep on fighting. I'm going to keep on going to the top, all the way, pushing the guys in the right way, giving them confidence and things like that. And that's what it is now. I mean, that game's gone, if MK Dons, top side, they were probably expected to win, because their budget's like twice or even 3 times. I mean, you can't compete with that, long term, over a whole season. You just can't. You can't compete with that. You can get a lucky win against them, but if you look at it as a season, if that kind of budget's there, it's pretty hard to kind of not do too well. If you've got that type of budget.
And finally, you're confident you've got those characters in your team, the characters you're talking about.
Yeah, I've definitely got the characters. I think we just got to dust ourselves off again and keep it going. You got to keep on believing. I think for me, if it's mathematical there, why stop? There's no need for you to stop. There's no need for you to stop. I'm a fighter. I'll keep it going, and I'm sure I'll keep saying to the lads, and come on, keep on going. Don't give up. We've put ourselves in a good position. We're in touching distance. Before it was kind of dead and buried. We've got a chance now. We've got a chance, and we've got games that, if we do win, it changes the whole season. But we've got to keep it going.
Sol, did you sense there was a bit of giving up towards the end of today's game?
Oh, not really, because obviously they're a great side. They keep the ball, they do the basics right, and it's naturally, they're riding high. They need to get out of the league. We need to stay in the league. No, I don't think it's giving up. I don't think there's guys who want to give up. But the main thing is now for us is the guys are going to pick themselves up. I'll do my best to pick them up, and physically and mentally, and I think that's key now at this time of the season. We haven't got time. That's kind of gone now. That game, and we've got 30 points to play for, 10 games, and we've got massive games in between that. That could be pivotal to us surviving the league, and that's what we've got to look at it. We've got to say, look, we've got to do everything in our power. When whoever turns up on that pitch, we've got to be up for it. Brave on the ball. It's like gladiators kind of scenario. It really is, and for me as a footballer, I know there is, sometimes I've been in a situation like that, with relegation, and I know it's dicey, but It's characters and guys who are going to be up for it. You know, going for every single ball. And really doing whatever you're going to do off the field to make sure you're really on the field. We'll you know, obviously the manager, I'll motivate them and make sure they know all we've got against, who they're playing against, and I'll do all that. But once they go across the white line, they've got to show that they're really up for it. And that's what it's all about. I mean, there's no excuse for guys to kind of not give 100%. I'd rather you give 100% and then you're knackered and you come off.
Yeah.
And that's what I want, and I think that's all I can ask for. As a manager, and they you know, we are where we are. It's a tough position. We've got to kind of keep on fighting. That's all we can do. You know, keep on probing, keep on kind of believing that we can get out of this, and that's what you got to do. You got to keep on believing. Yeah. Don't stop believing that it's. Yeah, we have bad games. Yes, we're playing some top sides. You know, yes, I'm not happy that we played 2 top sides. You know, it's not because you know, I'm not happy because you know it's 2 top sides that have double the size and triple the size budget, and they're riding high and they need to get out. It's a different type of, a bit more free on the ball because you know they're playing a side at the bottom. So we've got to believe. We've got to keep on believing, and that's all we can do.
And it's a massive test for yourself as a rookie manager, isn't it? And you've got the character, you know that. Do you see it in the players that you can be the one to pull them through?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. I think you got to kind of I believe in myself, and I try my best with the guys and keep them motivated and keep them kind of chomping at the bits. And whatever is happening, you know, around the club or above the club, you know, I'm not dealing with that, and you guys probably know more than me. So I'm just concentrating on the game, and I'm trying to get them focused for the game and get them fighting fit for the games ahead of them and the battles that we will have to have. And I want guys who are going to battle away with a bit of skill as well. And that's what it's going to take to stay in the division. Real guy, you know, blood and guts kind of scenario, but obviously, you know, using your heads as well, not kind of, you know, losing your heads.